Parker Finn, man. This dude really knows how to creep me the hell out. Hi everybody, Anthony here from Awesome Anthony Productions, and I'm just realizing that it's almost Halloween and I have not yet once said Spooktober in any of my reviews this month. Anyways, it's almost the end of Spooktober, and today I'm going to give you my second review in a row of a highly anticipated sequel to a horror movie from 2022, this time the sequel to my top horror movie of 2022, Smile 2. That was a lot of twos. But before we get started, you know exactly what to do. At the end of the video, if you think I've earned it, please leave a like, subscribe, and ring that bell so you never miss any of my new reviews. Now let's get into it. Smile 2 picks up pretty much right where the first movie left off. We start by experiencing the tail end of Joel's, played by Kyle Gallner's, week of hell with the Smile Demon. Now I won't spoil what happens, but I will say that it's not what you're expecting. But after all of that, the curse gets passed to a young drug dealer named Lewis, played by Lucas Gage. Then we meet Naomi Scott's character, Sky Riley, the main character of this movie, a pop star whose career hit the brakes a year ago due to a traumatic incident that definitely wasn't helped by serious mental health struggles and addiction. But now she's making her comeback, getting ready to go on tour.
Ladies and gentlemen, Sky Riley, you are in the middle of a big world tour. You okay?
But before she can hit the stage, because of her substance abuse history, she can't get any prescriptions for anything stronger than Tylenol to help her with her pain. So she reaches out to Lewis. Unfortunately, when she goes to his apartment, Sky walks headfirst into the Smile curse when Lewis graphically takes his life in front of her. What follows is one hellish week as Sky completely starts to unravel, haunted by these same eerie hallucinations and terrifying tricks that made that first movie so effective. And she's gonna have to confront some serious trauma along the way if she wants to survive. Now, before we dive into how horrifying this movie gets, let me just give Naomi Scott her props. I'll be honest, I never really thought that much of her, and I think that her lack of work recently didn't really help much with that. I thought the Aladdin remake was alright, but she played a good Jasmine and has a great singing voice, something this movie takes full advantage of, but I'll get to that later. And she was one of the least annoying parts of Charlie's Angels, so there's that. But here, she's incredible. Sky's a pop star on the verge of a mental breakdown before the curse even touches her, and Scott really nails that mix of exhaustion, anxiety, and depression. And her performance only gets more intense as the movie goes on, and you feel every bit of her spiral.
Sky, pull it together and get back out there.
It's raw and real, and it completely holds up to what Sosie Bacon did with her performance in the first movie. The movie also lets Naomi Scott show off her singing talent, and she really shines in those moments. There's even some pretty demanding dance choreography here, and she nails that too. I just really connected with this character, and her performance just completely blew me away. The supporting cast? Really solid too. Lucas Gage may only have a small part here as Lewis, but man does he make it count. He plays off his jittery, anxious, coked up energy right before shit hits the fan, bouncing between that and just trying to act like an awkward old friend to Sky, before giving us the straight up horrifying scene as the Smile Demon takes him. And when he shows up later during one of Sky's visions, it's downright unsettling. Ray Nicholson, yes, Jack Nicholson's son, also has a brief but memorable role as somebody from Sky's past. His presence is small, but leaves an impact that looms large over the entire film, especially when his character returns as part of the Smile Demon's twisted hallucinations. He's really got that eerie charisma down, and you can definitely see his dad's influence in there. Dylan Galula as Sky's best friend Gemma is a real standout here. She brings a much needed light and grounded energy to this movie, and her chemistry with Naomi Scott just feels natural. You feel like they've been best friends for years. There's also a touch of humor in her scenes that really help to break up the heavy tension, which is definitely a wise move considering just how dark this movie gets. Peter Jacobson also has a small role as a man named Morris that knows about the curse and tries to help Sky stop it, even if his role is more so related to exposition dumping than anything else.
You witnessed a death. Now it's latched onto you.
Miles Gutierrez Riley plays Sky's assistant, and while his role is small, he brings a lot to it, especially when things start to get really bad for Sky and his panic and terror start to set in. I also really have to hand it to Rosemary DeWitt, who plays Sky's mom and manager, because she's really great at portraying that conflicted mix of support and tension. She's given up everything to help her with her career, and you can definitely see the cracks in their relationship because of that. There's a scene early on in the third act where she really lets loose with a big emotional monologue, and I thought that it was one of the better emotional scenes in the movie, honestly. Now, the cinematography. Not only does the movie just look really great, but if you love the creative shots and camera work and strong editing from the first Smile, you're gonna love what they do here with this one. That opening sequence that's focused on Joel's story is filmed in an incredibly impressive 10-minute long take, and I thought it was just fantastic and was in awe by the end of it. Parker Finn and his DP really know how to frame something visually and build tension visually, and it all pays off. Another thing that I really liked that surprised me a lot was the humor this time around. There's a bit more of it, especially from characters like Gemma and Morris, but there's also a lot more dark humor humor sprinkled throughout that's used to break up the tension a little bit without taking away from the horror. And speaking of horror, this movie delivers. Sure, if you've seen the first one, you can kind of guess where a lot of this movie is going. A lot of the story beats are very similar, but the way it handles the jump scares, unsettling atmosphere, and gnarly visuals, top notch. It keeps that same effectively creepy vibe from the first and just ramps up the intensity. I'd say it's even scarier than the original, at least on first watch. That may have been helped by the fact that I was in a completely empty theater, and actually the entire theater that I was in, like the entire Regal chain, was completely empty when I left, because when the movie ended, I was tense, my heart was pounding, and I practically bolted out of that damn theater. I ran out of there like my ass was on fire, because the last 20 minutes of this movie, absolute tense and terrifying chaos. There is a bit of frustrating confusion when it comes to deciphering what's real and what's not, something that the first movie played around with a lot, but was always very clear with its answer, but it still adds to the overall tension. And even though I could see the final twist coming from when I first saw the trailer, I still thought it was executed incredibly well, and the ending sets up some very exciting possibilities for the future of this series. Overall, if you love the first film, this brings back everything that was great in it. Disturbing horror, great characters and drama, incredibly well done visuals and camera work, and a gripping lead performance, while adding a few new wrinkles along the way and having a great soundtrack. Seriously, this movie came out with a Sky Riley EP, and it's a banger. If you enjoyed the first one, this sequel will absolutely satisfy. And that's my review of Smile 2. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this review, you know exactly what to do. I said it in the beginning. Please leave a like, subscribe, and ring that bell so you never miss any of my new reviews. While you're at it, you can scroll down in the description below, find the links to my socials, leave a comment, let me know if you saw this and what you thought, and if you want more of my content, you can click or tap on these cards right here. I'll take you to my review of Terrifier 3, or just over to my channel where you can check out the rest of my reviews and my shorts. Thanks for watching, everybody, and I will see you next time for my review of Venom: The Last Dance.